Hey, hi. It'll be the last time in this go around that I'll say good afternoon. Welcome to Hai Young Zendo, formerly known as Zen with a Smile. Yeah, and since this is video number 333, and that's all I started out way back in January 20th, 2018, video number 1. And I had an ambition to do 333, approximately 33 minute and 33 second video. That was what I was aiming for all the time anyway. So this one, I had a series of questions. I wondered how I'm going to bring this full circle and how I'm going to complete something that's without end. It's without beginning and without end. So when I quote dates, it's really meaningless. January 18th, 2018, and today is February 21st, 2022, I think. Okay, but that's the bookends, okay, for this video experience. It's been great. Shout out to YouTube for giving me this platform. And trust me, I went up and bought I'll show you. I went out and bought a Samsung, I'll put it right side up, Samsung portable hard drive, T7. I'm going to put all my Hai Young Zendo, my Zen with a Smile, put all 333 of them on this hard drive for perpetuity and for me, for fun, for me. Just in case YouTube changes its policy and lets go. I'm taking up quite a bit of room, I guess, with my 333. I'll find out when I go to put it on this 500. What did they say it was again? I think it's supposed to hold 500 gigs. Anyway, a lot. Especially considering that my iMac, as I look at it, holds about 1 terabyte. Anyway, we're in 2 minutes already, so let's begin. What I thought I would do, I put these questions out to the universe. And I've gotten my answers from all kinds of sources. And what I'll be reading to you, and what I'll be reading to you is other answers to questions that I sent out asking for help. And we've listened to me, and I just want to listen to some other people. There's a Pasha Foley, Tisha Anand, Adyashanti, Satya Chan, who just recently passed. These are the great Ramana Maharishi. These are some people that resonate with me, Sadhguru. And you'll find their words. You might recognize them. I'm not going to try to identify them all because that's not how I keep track of things. Still in here. Anyway, this is video number 111 plus plus. What it means is there was first 111, then 111 plus plus, and I said that wrong. This is 111 plus plus plus. I better put that correctly there. Plus plus plus. The third iteration of 111. And I'm doing a little more homework here. Okay, a little bit of editing. I love editing. Okay, checking the voice, making sure we got a good, strong voice. I got the lighting as good as it gets. So I finally ended up, I went up through, first I started, what color is the wind? And that's kind of a koan, and I kind of liked it. but maybe that's a little too obscure. People have accused me of being a little too obscure, but sometimes you just can't help it. Especially Zen. Zen is couched in obscurity for the most part, especially koans, because it's not intended to be solved in the traditional sense of a puzzle with rationality. God forbid rationality. No place in this for rationality. Nothing's real after all. Okay, so I ended up with life knowing itself as life. What is life? Life. Life knowing itself as life. Beautiful. Okay, so here, and one of the other poorly refined thought, because jhana yoga, my particular of the four paths that one can seek, at least four. I chose jhana, which is the knowledge, wisdom, so it used the greater mind through a process of locating, sorting, storing, and ultimately finding. Locating information, refining, sorting it from information to knowledge to the ultimate nugget of wisdom, and to store these. And in the process of storing these, I had to figure out a way to access them too. And I've talked about that before, so no time for that right now. But less poorly refined thought is how I look at the way most people experience life. The life of the ego. The Mayic life, the Maya, the illusory life. It's experienced through the mind. And this is considered thought, but it's poorly refined. Let's refine it, okay? And what the mind always sees itself as the ultimate cause of all experience. But the mind, contrary to its own opinion, does not have the power to control, limit, expand, or otherwise affect awareness. Enlightenment is being awareness. But what enlightenment is not is a human who sees special things. Enlightenment is a different reality. An enlightened one experiences things differently. In other words, they exist inside of a reality that's different from what humans consider real. I assume the question means to ask, what do you see that I can't see? The enlightened one, the awakened one. What do you see that I can't see? But the answer to this question is everything. Everything I can see, you can't see. Because I see reality different than you do. I see a different reality than you do. Indeed. Is it possible to be enlightened and unhappy? I like to deal with these kind of things because people have the misconception. Even my own brother thinks that when I have a little bit temper, or I'm cross, or I'm short, or some of my human frailties exist, he knows that I consider myself awakened. Whether he knows what that means, obviously he does not know what it means. But he knows I consider that, so he said, that's not very Zen of you, or he makes some comment. And actually, I do a pretty good job, better than he does, honestly, of being mindful, keeping in the moment. But it does not mean that we don't experience. It does not mean I live in la la blah 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 and my life is perfect and that I don't have emotional, physical, emotional, mental trials and tribulations. That's all we do. The difference is that I separate myself from that and I witness, I watch, and I watch without reaction, without judgment, without expectations. I just watch what is be. What will be, will be. One of my favorite little buzz. Whatever will be, will be. Que sera, sera. It's an old song. I still can't sing, but anyway. Is it possible to be unhappy? And again, I like these questions. It's not possible to be unhappy. It's not possible. It is, but it is possible to feel sadness, anxiety, pain. The mind is what it thinks and what it feels. A human completely identified with the mind, therefore, whatever the mind is, the human is. If there is no sadness, the human is. If there is sadness, the human is sadness. When there is anxiety, the human is anxiety. A human becomes the feelings, the human becomes the thoughts. Enlightened one is not their mind. The mind is there, always feeling what it feels, but the enlightened one isn't it. The enlightened one feels it, but does not take it personally. Don't take it personally. Anything. Good, bad, different, ugly. So it's not possible to be unhappy because you don't identify. Your mind says you're unhappy, but you watch it and say, oh, my mind's not happy. Well, more power to it. I like to give it a job, For me, my mind has been the only tool in my arsenal. It's the only tool in my toolbox. It's the only tool in my handbag. It's the mind. So the whole time when I misunderstood what silence meant and what quieting the mind and these things meant, all in the name of clarity, I had to understand that clarity was different than seeing clearly. Clarity means understanding your soul purpose for existence. Clarity, I was always clear from birth practically that I wanted to be aware, awake. I wanted to be united, not separated or divided. I wanted to monolism, oneness. I wanted to be one. This is a cute one. I don't know, can one become enlightened if they have a pure heart? Well, one of the 4 ways is bhakti yoga, and bhakti yoga is those people with clear heart. Through love, through chanting, through worship through devotion to the Guru. This is another path, that simply to love, to completely love, to celebrate, to dance, to chant, to worship, to recognize the divinity in your teacher, to honor his existence, to honor your opportunity to be with him. This is a pure heart. And the answer is, of course. Maybe it's the quickest path. I don't know. A lot of people say it's the easiest path. It's not the path. Your path will be obvious to you, Karma yoga, through deeds, unselfish deeds. Jnana yoga, through the mind, through sorting, filing, using the mind as a tool. Bhakti, through worship, through understanding. And Kriya, or Kriya yoga, is about energy. There's another name for it that'll come to me. But Kriya, like Sadhguru talks about Kriya, energy. And I'll come up with another name for this Kriya, energy. Same thing. Raja Yoga. Raja, the path of royalty. The royal path, Raja. Rajna? Raja, I think. Okay, here we are. Some people are more mind-oriented, moi. Some people are more heart-inclined. That's the bhakti I was talking about. Some people are more gut-oriented. But whatever center is our preference, we should not forget the one in which it happens. So when you meditate, drop the idea that you're meditating once absorption has started. Once you're into the, forget that you're meditating. Once you're absorbed, and the sense of meditating should gently melt in the center, leaving only the meditation and the meditator. This is the secret key. Once you get this, you can enjoy the rest without getting attached to states that come and go. Yeah, witness. I was anxious and I thought my anxiety would disappear when I resolved whatever it was causing it. I thought my anxiety was a message. I need to fix something or figure something out. But this didn't work. I was angry too. When people think enlightenment is having everything figured out, I recognize anxiety's twisted logic. This is a perpetration of the idea that we can't be happy now. What is realized in realization is profound well-being. Everything is just talk. If you don't feel like the idea of seeking an emotional state, you're right. If you don't like the idea of seeking an emotional state, you're right. Well-being is what remains when the emotions that come and go have gone. It is the overlooked treasure of the natural state. It seems far away. Don't seek it. Be grateful for what you have. Yes, to be grateful for what you have. It's a prerequisite. And all this is based on the origin of surrender. The origin, the whole completeness, the deepness of the surrender. And it's continuity. One needs to daily surrender. Surrender up to the violet consuming flame, the karma that we accumulate daily, even after yours has been lifted, as it's lifted from passing from non-abiding in Adyashanti's terms, non-abiding to abiding awakening, from temporary to permanent awakening. But be grateful for what you have. Recognize and enjoy your non-headache. How's that? I have a headache. Why don't we just complain, but why don't we recognize and enjoy our non-headache? When well-being stabilizes, you no longer will fuss with the word. We will not try to correct it. The natural state has the magic ability to let everything fall into place. What will be, will be. Let it be. Let it go. That's how you begin the process of letting it be. Here we go. If you spend time with someone who is enlightened, can it make you enlightened too? Well, yes. But more importantly, one's suffering is how one grows. Here we're going to a very important, uncomfortable truth. Do you know the importance that pain and suffering play in your spiritual awakening? The Guru is a good pointer to your true self, but he cannot give it to you. He can only reflect it back, and when you are ready for you to perceive that in your own experience. The Master, our Guru, is not there to take off people's sufferings, and nor should he. I think this is a misunderstanding that suffering is wrong. Suffering is what makes you want to grow as a human. A human that becomes, or rather sees awareness and becomes awareness. Then human is no longer a human. A human is awareness. A human, still being in a human, will not understand one who is awareness. There is no point to trying to convey or to get rid of the suffering of the one and still be a human. When one is a human, that is what one is. When one is awareness, That's what one is. And life knows when you are ready. Your time will come. Life knows. We're all Buddhas, sleeping Buddhas. We'll all learn when it's our time. It'll happen naturally. Not painlessly. Not seamlessly. Not with not without loads of difficulty. As one friend of mine on Quora, that's a kind of where I read a lot of this space. That is the difference between a bodhisattva and a Buddha. A bodhisattva still has the ego of trying to make people suffering not actually there. Maybe also some of the personal suffering involved in it. I know I had that, and that's why I'm mentioning. Buddha is not concerned with that. He is just a mirror, and for people to see their own suffering themselves, but he has no interest in getting aware of it. Get that. Buddha doesn't want to. It's not about getting rid of your suffering. You grow. And here's what Adyashanti says. Be very careful how much suffering you take away from people, because you may be taking away their best chance at awakening. Let me read that again, because this is so beautiful. Thank you, Adya. Be careful how much suffering you take away from people, because you may be taking away their best chance of awakening. So a lot of followers expect this, and they not expected, but it's not desirable. Can a genius be enlightened? A mind does not participate in enlightenment. No property of that mind can influence enlightenment anyway. So this means a genius or an idiot matters not. The idea that an overactive mind can stop enlightenment, that's overly intellectual mind can stop enlightenment, that overdeveloped mind can stop enlightenment, or that a broken, unstable mind can stop enlightenment is something the mind comes up with. The mind always sees itself as the ultimate cause of all experience. Amen. But the mind, contrary to its own opinion, does not have the power to control, limit, expand, or otherwise affect awareness. Enlightenment is being awareness. That gerund, the ing, not to be aware, but being awareness. The continuity of the gerund. Going instead of go. Coming instead of come. Being instead of be. Living instead of live. The continuity of the infinite. Even if I surrender to the universe, that doesn't end unhealthy relationship for me. It's always us to make the decision. How do I surrender to the universe and know that when it's the time to give up someone or to keep trying at the same time? Keep trying. Yeah. Here is the surrendering to reality means accepting reality as it is, rather than trying to make it what you want to be. Yes. Okay, we continue. How's my time doing? Good, 10 more minutes. Surrendering again is to reality means that you stop trying to make it, to fix it, to change it. When you surrender to reality, when you stop trying to change it and fix it and instead allow yourself to accept it as it is, then you will see it as it is. Accepting leads to seeing. When you surrender to reality, you will see reality clearly. When you surrender to reality, you will surrender your delusions, your denials, your hopes, your dreams of reality being the way you want, your expectations, your fears, your judgment, and your discrimination. You give all of that up. Give it up! Dun, 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 dun. It makes me want to sing, and I can't sing. When you surrender all this, you will see, this is to answer the original question. you will see what is. You will see what it is clearly and directly. You will see what it is directly and clearly. You will see clearly what it is and what is and is not appropriate for you to do at the time in any relationship. Got bait? Continue? Okay, and is there a culmination? We call it here the journey without end. According to Zen, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. I love that. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Nothing changes. So what's the point if you both before and after involve doing the exact same things? Yeah. Gotta breathe, gotta make money, gotta have responsibilities, gotta exist, gotta take care of the physical body, mental, emotional bodies. I remember asking a Zen master who was asked whether in his old age he still practiced Zen. He said he did, and when he asked what he... Uh-oh. I just got stuck.